very well numbers-wise. But, was it hard to adjust to the pitching? Was that difficult?
I mean, I've been in that league. I was my second year, and, man, it was – I mean, going through it 2011 season, this year, it wasn't anything. The thing is, the game's the same. The pitchers, they're going to locate their pitches better, but, I mean, pretty much at the end of the day, the game's the same. They say that's the hardest jump in all of baseball is, from A-ball to AA. I mean, it definitely is because guys are just better at what they do. They know what they need to do to get you out pitching-wise. And hitters, supposed to be more advanced, that kind of thing. But really the hardest part, I think, was just the travel in that league. It was awful. 12-hour bus ride, no day off, which is tough.
Yeah.
And especially this year, man, I don't read too much into the prospect stuff. Like the guys you name, like Wong and Tavares, those guys are freaks. Those guys are so good. I mean, obviously. And I hate that label, that prospect label. I mean, it's going to always get thrown out there. But, I mean, if you're good, you're good. If I don't care if somebody labels me a prospect, non-prospect. I don't care. I don't play to be named a prospect. I play to be a major leaguer. That's it.
Yeah. That's what you got to play, especially at this point. I mean, there's not that many people get to where you are. So, my attitude about it is it's the best of the best right now. You obviously have to be extremely talented to get to this point. So just keep playing every day, keep grinding, and hopefully you get there soon. But I see you played, a few more questions. I see you played in the Caribbean Winter League. That must have been fantastic, the weather there. So what was the experiences over there, playing in other countries, the competition? What was the overall experience there?
That was awesome. So, I was in Venezuela, and what was awesome is that I was actually playing for the Laura Cardinales, which like 30 years ago, actually this year, my dad played for them. He played winter ball down there 30 years ago, same exact team. Wow. So that was pretty awesome to play, same position, same team as my dad. And I've never been able, to do that. So that was really, really awesome. They definitely remember him down there. He played there 3 years in a row in Winter League. So that was awesome. Great fans. We got better fans over there than we have here. It's a different brand of baseball. There's big leaguers everywhere. It was just amazing experience, and I hope to do it again.
Yeah, I hope you get the experience again. It's a great experience, Winter League, to do going on. Before, we got two more questions here. Number one, what is the hardest pitch for you to hit personally?
Oh, man, I can't tell that. That's what people.
You can't tell that too, secret?
No,
okay,
man, people are trying to tell me that every time. Oh, how about this fastball right down the middle? Because I don't know if I'm going to pull it or go off. That's it.
All right, so all you scouts listening and pitchers, fastball right down the middle, that's what you got to throw to Jeremy Barfield to get the best results for you. Not for him, but for you. But one last question here. Unless there's fans on the chat that have something, what should baseball fans expect from you in 2013, and why should the live listeners and future listeners of this interview follow you on Twitter @BaseClogger?
Well, respect for me, man. I don't know where we'll end up, where I'll start, all that fun stuff, but wherever I go, man, I'm just going to play the best of my ability. That's all I can control. I mean, you're going to That's it. At the end of the day, I can only control what I do. And whatever the organization, decides to do with me, that's their decision. And I just hope to influence that as much as possible with good play. And why they should follow me on Twitter is because I'm awesome. That's all I need to know.
You heard it here. He is awesome. He's classy. He's all of those. Again, thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate you taking out the time of, a day like this to come on the show. Good luck this coming year, and look forward to seeing your successes in this coming year. Thanks again, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Take care.
All right. Again, that is Jeremy Barfield. We'll let him go and enjoy his New Year's Eve. Again, a great guy. I cut him off a few times in the interview. My phone is not the highest of quality. I will be using a mic next time, and so I'll have the headphones, so I'll be really able to listen to what he's saying. But, again, this interview will be on h4.com. If you haven't checked it out, it's a new sports network that I'm working on. And also, of course, on YouTube. This is, it's just fun to do in the off-season, interview players like this. This guy has a great history, a great past. He was drafted in high school twice, actually, once out of high school, again out of community college. You know, he has a long family history of baseball. Josh Barfield, his brother, and also his dad, Jesse Barfield. He's played in some leagues. He's played, you know, in many all-star games. Look for him to come up. I mean, the Oakland Athletics have a great organization. They're moving in the right direction. That's one question I probably could have asked him about, you know, what do you think of the Athletics run? I kind of put together this interview. It was somewhat quick, but, again, honored to have him on here. Again, check him out on Twitter, @BaseClogger here. We're going to bring in someone else while we have 8 minutes left so I don't just continue rambling the whole time. We're going to bring in a pretty good friend of mine, I would hope, you know, I met him through Twitter, actually, talked to him a lot through Skype. We have multiple shows if you want to check out CLNSradio.com. Well, I'll talk about that a little later when we bring him on, though. The YouTube, the MLB Talk 101, we do a few shows, so if you want to hear him talk baseball, bring him, you know, go check out those videos. But we're going to bring him on here, and we'll just see what's up, and then we'll talk some recent baseball news involving the Red Sox and others. So we'll bring him on here. This is Chris Hogan again. Chris, how's it going, man?
Hey, good. Happy New Year's to you. How are you?
Thank you. Doing very well. You know, I had a very successful interview. I thought that was fun to do. Yeah, he was a great guy throughout the whole process. Now, again, this is Chris Hogan at Hogan Reports. He is a writer and all of that for CLNSradio.com. Again, that's CLNSradio.com. That covers all Boston sports, hockey, baseball, basketball, everything. They do pregame, postgame for everything. The only Boston sports website, radio network to actually do all pregame and postgame. So, again, check them out on there. They have a show on Blog Talk Radio pretty much every night. Again, that's at Hogan Reports, so check them out there. Now, I want to talk about the Red Sox because something pretty big happened for CLNS earlier today. As Chris Catello, if you can tell a story, you guys told me about this, and now it's on MLB Trade Rumors. So tell me what happened. Tell me how you heard about this, and just talk about really what happened here tonight.
Yeah, if the listeners don't know, I'm the Red Sox beat editor for the CLNS Radio, but Chris Catello is one of my writers. He joined us back in October, but obviously, you know, he's been doing a lot for our radio network lately, and you know, he really caught a big break today because you know, a few days ago, when every baseball writer and stuff was on, you know, thinking about the holidays, him and I were doing some Twitter searches, and we found this Venezuelan baseball writer who tweeted in Spanish, but we converted, because I know Spanish pretty well. Him and I had talked about it, but the Red Sox actually worked out Bobby Abreu, the former Philly and Yankee player, to take ground balls at first base. I know that sounds a little bit odd because he's past his prime and he hasn't played much outfield the last couple of years, but, you know, that which led to WEEI.com, which is a big Boston radio network here in the New England area. One of their writers, Alex Spear, actually said gave him a hat tip because Chris Catello was the first one to actually report it through that Spanish translator. So, yeah, he basically just did that, and obviously got into MLB Trade Rumors, like you said. So that's a pretty big honor for not only him but our website.
Absolutely, and hopefully somehow MLB Trade Rumors on the site, there's a post that says he was the first one to report it. I don't think at this point they'll change it, but either way, it's going to be great for the network there. So, you know, that brings me to the question about the first base situation. Last night, I put up a post that put, the Red Sox will not sign Adam LaRoche. It really should just be more of the Red Sox should not sign Adam LaRoche, and I don't think they will, but I just want to make something bold as a title, but I really don't think they will sign him. Do you disagree with me on that? And if so, where are the Napoli situations? You know, I mean, really, what's going to happen on the first base side? Do you think that they're going to sign Adam LaRoche, I guess is what I'm asking?
I think the biggest thing for the Red Sox organization this year is, you know, they have the 8th pick, and then I think this pick they would have to go up, I think it's like 44, 45, so it's pretty rare.
44th, yeah.
And the Red Sox haven't had those type of picks since at least the late 90s, going back to their success, you know, with the playoff run and all that. So I get the feeling that they're probably not going to sign him. I really think he ends up back in Washington. They said there's a few teams talking. Maybe the Rangers are one of them, even though they have Mitch Moreland. I don't know of any others because a lot of them are fine at first base, most teams. So I think in the end he'll end up in Washington. Probably, I don't think he's going to get 3 years, but I could be wrong. I think he'll get 2 years with maybe a vesting option or something like that. Because obviously he had a really bad shoulder injury in 2011, but he rebounded very nicely this year. But for the Red Sox situation, I think, you know, I'm still puzzled like you are as most Red Sox fans because the whole organization's just being quiet about this whole situation. But ultimately, I think it will get done. But like I said on Twitter last night, and I'm going to write again tonight or maybe tomorrow, the Red Sox still need a backup first baseman, and I've told you before, I think, Mike Morris could be an option if this Napoli thing is done because gets voided because Adam LaRoche is back, because they're going to use Bryce Hopper in left field. But I think I've also said all along, I think Mike Karp from Seattle is a good option because he's now buried on that bench with Ibanez now signed. They have Eric Thames, Michael Saunders, so he's going to have to beat out a lot of different players just to get playing time. And I think come spring training, he'd be a great because he's left-handed. They need some left-handed bats off the bench, and it wouldn't take too much, I don't think, to get him. So I think those are a couple names you should look at.
Okay, so really with this Mike Napoli situation, is there any updates on that? Or, I mean, is it really just we're just going to have to wait and see? Is this a J.D. Drew type of situation? What are you getting out of this from Boston?
I think I really think you just hit the nail on the coffin. I really think it's just a waiting because the J.D. Drew situation, he was signed in the 2006 offseason. It wasn't until about 3 weeks before spring training of 2007 that we found out. I think it was that last week of January that year. But, what I'm hoping is that we hear something after the new year probably, because if we don't, I mean, there's just going to be, there's going to be a lot of bashing with this, the fan base with the front office because, Ben Sherrington made a few controversial signings with the overpaying Victorino and the Dempster thing. I like that move, but if he doesn't get this contract signed, I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on this front office because they have to make a move pretty quickly.
Absolutely, and they need to find a starting first baseman. I don't like the potential of them signing Adam LaRoche. It's completely against what I think that they've been doing this whole off season, which is protecting the top draft picks, keeping their prospects.
I agree.
And signing veterans that can, they can be expendable in a few years. You have some options. If it turns bad and they're not in contention in maybe 2 years in the Victorino deal, you move him for maybe almost a major league ready player, and you continue to get to that top of the AL East, which I think they have a pretty good chance of being right around number 1, number 2. I think a lot of people have been bashing their moves. Are they better or not? But I do like the moves, and I think the clubhouse additions will really help out. Now, Javier Vasquez, staying on different countries, players. He's talking about maybe returning. He wants to join a contender. Do you think he would be a nice addition as depth to the rotation? Do you see him as a possible Red Sox fit there?
I think it's an interesting question because I think he actually did pitch in the World Baseball Classic, or I believe there's some kind of thing over right before the spring training ended last year. He pitched in some tournament, I know. Then he took the rest of the year off, I believe. But I heard he has been throwing a little bit over the last month or so. But I don't know. I mean, last off season, I think he wanted just to go back to the Marlins, and he was demanding a lot of money from them, obviously until they caught Carlos Zambrano. But if he wants one of those low cost, maybe $1 million plus incentives type things, I'd be all for it because he's a pretty durable guy. I mean, he's had some good seasons. I mean, I think it's worth a gamble, like I said, because I've told you on previous shows, I think the Red Sox will add at least 1 or 2 more depth players like they did with Aaron Cook and Russ Ohlendorf last year. They definitely need some more depth starters because you saw the pitching staff this past year.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely do. And, again, we have about 90 seconds left, so I'm going to let you go, Chris. Again, that's Chris Hogan at Hogan Reports. He comes on the show a lot. Check him out. Check out CLNSradio.com on YouTube. You can see some of the shows we've done. If you want to give a quick shout-out with 30 seconds left for CLNS, that'd be fine. Yeah,
just follow. Just go to CLNSradio.com and then click on our Red Sox blog section, and be sure to follow Chris Cotillo at Trade Deadline, that's with an R, Trade Deadline with an R. And he's doing quite a few giveaways, too, lately. So just follow him, and I bet you can put the link on that. So, and then also our other writer, Josh Fidnick, who you had on, too. He's a good follow, as well. So I'll talk to you soon.
All right, great. That was, again, Chris Hogan. Thanks for joining us. Follow, again, Cotillo and everyone else he mentioned, and win that Kershaw autograph later tonight. Thanks for listening, H4 TV. Thanks.